Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our English conversational podcast. I'm Robin, and as always, I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Maria.
Hi, everyone. We're so happy to have you join us today. This podcast is all about helping you improve your spoken English while learning about fascinating topics.
That's right, Maria. Listening to real, conversational English helps you learn new words, improve pronunciation, and understand how English is naturally spoken.
And the best part is, we choose fun and interesting topics that make learning enjoyable. So no boring lessons here, just meaningful conversations.
Today, we're diving into the delicious world of food culture. Food isn't just about taste. It's a window into traditions, history, and lifestyles from around the world.
We'll explore famous dishes, unique food traditions, and how food reflects culture. By the end, you'll have some fun stories to share and some great new English phrases to use.
So grab your favorite snack and let's get started.
Part 1. What does food culture mean?
Maria, have you ever thought about what food culture really means?
That's a good question. I think it's more than just the food we eat. It's about traditions, right?
Exactly. Food culture is the way a community or country approaches food. It includes what people eat, how they prepare it, and even how they serve and enjoy it.
Oh, so it's like a story behind the food. For example, why people in some countries eat with chopsticks and others use knives and forks.
Yes, exactly. In some Asian cultures, chopsticks are part of a long tradition of eating habits. Meanwhile, Western cultures developed knives and forks to cut through tougher meats and breads.
Wow, that's so interesting. It's not just about the food itself, but also how it fits into people's daily lives.
Absolutely. Food culture also changes based on history, religion, and geography. For example, people in tropical climates often eat spicy food because it helps preserve food in hot weather.
I never thought of that. Spices are more than just flavors. They have a purpose.
Part 2. Famous dishes from around the world.
Let's talk about some famous dishes now. What's a dish you've tried from another culture, Maria?
I'll start with sushi. I love it. It's so fresh and light, and I admire how much care goes into making it.
Sushi is a great example of food as art. In Japan, chefs train for years to perfect their sushi making skills. The presentation is just as important as the taste.
I've noticed that. Even the small details, like the shape of the rice or the way the fish is sliced, are done so carefully.
Exactly. Sushi reflects Japanese values: precision, simplicity, and respect for nature.
Speaking of artful food, what about pasta?
Pasta. It's a symbol of Italy's food culture. Each region in Italy has its own special pasta dishes. For example, spaghetti carbonara comes from Rome, while tagliatelle al ragu, what we call bolognese, comes from Bologna.
I love that pasta can be simple or fancy, depending on the ingredients.
That's what makes it so versatile. Now, let's move to something spicy. Curry.
Curry is one of my favorites, but it's so different depending on the country. Indian curry is rich and creamy, while Thai curry is more aromatic and spicy.
Yes, and in Japan, they have their own version of curry, which is milder and sweeter. It's fascinating how one dish can have so many variations.
Part 3. Unique food traditions.
Robin, have you noticed how food traditions vary so much across cultures?
Oh yes, for example, in Ethiopia, people eat from a shared plate using their hands. It's a sign of friendship and trust.
That's so lovely. I've also read that in Korea, there are rules about how you eat, like younger people should wait for elders to start eating first.
That's true. It's part of showing respect in Korean culture, and in India, many people eat with their hands because they believe it enhances the connection to the food.
I love how these traditions make meals more meaningful. It's not just about eating, it's about bonding.
Yes, and in China, meals are often served family style with everyone sharing dishes. It's a way to bring people together.
Part 4. Food and History.
Let's talk about how history influences food. Did you know that pizza, as we know it, started as a food for poor workers in Naples, Italy?
Really? That's amazing. And now, pizza is one of the most popular foods in the world.
Exactly. And speaking of history, spices like cinnamon and pepper were once so valuable they were used as currency.
That's incredible. I guess that's why Indian and Middle Eastern cuisines have so many spices. They were part of the ancient spice trade routes.
Yes, and food also reflects colonization and migration. For example, British curry dishes were inspired by Indian cuisine during the colonial period.
Part 5. Personal Stories and Favorites.
Robin, do you have a personal story about food that connects to your culture?
I do. Growing up, we always had a special dish for family celebrations. It's a spicy chicken curry that my grandmother taught my mom, and now my mom has taught me.
That's beautiful. It's like a family tradition passed down through generations.
Exactly. What about you, Maria?
For me, it's desserts. My grandmother made the best apple pie, and now I bake it for my family. It's a way of keeping her memory alive.
Food really is a powerful way to connect with loved ones, isn't it? Well, that's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed learning about food culture and picked up some useful English phrases along the way.
If you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share it with your friends.
And let us know in the comments, what's your favorite dish from another culture? We'd love to hear your stories.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep enjoying delicious food.